Well, this is a short one, I hope. Well, today, sadly, we had another shooting, Tennessee, Nashville. That's tragic. I don't like that. I especially don't like children being targeted. That uh, that's beyond me. Is it because the perpetrator know that he can subdue a child easily if he didn't have a firearm? But in this case, a firearm which they keep calling an assault rifle, which is not the word for it. End of story. AR stands for armor light. It don't stand for assault rifle. And, you know, the truth is coming out about January 6th. The whole truth. And we got 81 million plus Americans watching what the crooks are going to do regarding Trump in a case that is being done every single day in this country, a settlement. But no, we want Trump to have committed a felony in this case, which he has not. And Trump don't need contribution money. He's filthy rich in the first place, and he never had anybody pay for any of what he has done in his presidential run and during the time as a president. He don't need to. He's got money enough. They're afraid of him. They're afraid of you. They're very afraid of you because you're beginning to wake up, and they're seeing that in the algorithms, what people are clicking on and want to know about. So, yeah. In these almost 3 months of this year already, we have had 16 train derailment. One of them serious. East Palestine, Ohio. Very serious. And they did the inexcusable. Instead of controlling the pollution, they set it on fire, creating dioxin, a very, very toxic substance. And just let that rain down on everybody. And why? Well, it's pretty simple. They don't care about you. They don't care about you at all. They only care about themselves and their power. If you drop dead now, all of you, they would be most happy. They wouldn't even mourn you. There would be nothing except they will have a big party with whiskey and cigars. In this picture here, pretty much show what it is they're up to. We're talking about digital ID, digital currency, which will leave you unable to make decisions for yourself under the guise of, climate change is a problem. We need to do something. We need to control, remember the word control, what people are able to do. 15-minute cities, such as we have had, going back to supply chain, over 50 different food processing plants in this country has deliberately been sabotaged. Why? Because you are the carbon that they want to reduce. So by disrupting the supply chain by the rail and disrupting the supply chain through processing plants where, fresh produce, chicken farms, and other kinds of foods, they are going to make it very difficult for you to make it. And after this shooting today, he's not even president. Barack Hussein Obama is the president of this country at this moment as I speak. And he has been that ever since the inauguration 2 years ago. He's running the show and he's a communist. And what happens in communist countries? Well, one word: genocide. And this is exactly what we're seeing now. We're seeing an orchestrated genocidal plan being carried out right now. They're disrupting the supply chain, the food supply chain, the transportation network. Capiche? They're creating inflation, meaning your money is less worth than it was during Trump. Everything is upside down since he left office. Now, I'm not advocating for Trump, but what he did, he brought America back as number one, the nation. And what are we now? We are scraping the surface of becoming a third world country. And we are freaking allowing it. Unfortunately. I do believe that America in some form or fashion will survive because we still have the ability to defend ourselves. And this is exactly what they're trying to do with all their so-called assault weapons ban, high-capacity magazine ban, and blah, 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 bans, red flag laws, and blah, 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 blah. And then they're creating all these shootings for you to react emotionally and say, oh, enough of all these guns. Yeah, we got to get rid of these guns. And when you do that, the train wagons will roll up, the trucks will roll up, and load you on board to the nearest FEMA camp that you are designated to go to. And your family will be separated permanently. And are you over 45 years old, you will be exterminated immediately, on sight. You understand that? You're over 45 years old, they won't even put you on the truck. They will shoot you where you stand when you open the door. Get that? That's just how they are. They're evil. Pure evil. There's nothing good in them. Nothing. They don't even love their own. It's all about serving themselves. And if their children are standing in the way, well, they're not shy of getting rid of them too. This is for their so-called greater good, whatever they're doing. And they're not going to be prosecuted for it because it's one giant club and we're not members of it, but they are members of it and they can do whatever they freaking please. I was almost cussing there. But I'm not going to cuss. So, while all this is going on, right, diminishing the country, this great nation, dismantling from the inside, this current administration is sharpening their sabers into a conflict with Russia, right? So how I see it is they are doing this because they want their Antichrist, but they want this country burned to the ground in order for that to happen. Because America, as I've said a million times, is the last Bastille to prevent a new world order. Because you and I can defend ourselves. And I'm telling you, no matter what they do in Washington, you hold on to that tool. No matter what. You give it up, you are already dead. You can't defend yourself against those who would come in the trucks and the trains, but against the mob or against your neighbor, which is hungry and see you as protein. Do you understand what I'm saying? They want this country completely annihilated. And they think themselves that they are going to walk through this unscathed. They couldn't be further from the truth. They are going to eat that bitter fruit. It's going to taste sweet. But on the other side, it's going to turn bitter in their stomach. Because when this guy, they are so desperate to getting in power, this Antichrist, it's going to be for them. You put up, you shut up, or I will kill you. There is no in between. There's no gray areas. It's black and white. You are either with me or you are against me. Just like President Bush said. Either you with the terrorists or you are with us. That's exactly what is going to take place. So, America is now the laughingstock of many countries. China and Russia is allying themselves in a pretty neat position. They're all powerful. They're actually more powerful than America is now. That is not a good deal. And yet, these black hats, as we call them, these shadow governments, are pushing for a direct conflict with Russia, a nuclear capable nation that has enough nuclear arsenal to vaporize the entire mainland of the United States over and over again. And we're just pissing down their neck. So you see, for them, there's only one way they are going, because they're all possessed by a demon. They're all going for the total destruction of everything that you and I know. Not just in America, but the world. So they can bring in this dictator who hates you and I, who hates everything God has created. And when you have that kind of person, what do you think is going to happen to Mother Earth? It's going to be destroyed. He's going to burn everything to the ground because of his adamant hatred. So, supply chain is done, pretty much. Food shortages is a fact. Gas prices are high. Banning fossil fuel production, as they call it, fossil fuel, whatever they can call it, whatever they want. Pretty much everything. And people are beginning to see a pattern here. So we have to have another school shooting or a church shooting. We have to have a distraction put in order to emotionally decapitate us for a while until we get out of the fog. I'm completely clear in my mind. Even when I heard it on the news, I was just saying, again, another one, another planned attack on innocent people, because it's all planned. Every single one of those who's going in there and going to do all these mass shootings has been programmed to do so. You can believe me or not, but that's the fact. MK Ultra. They're the ones doing it. And they're not aware they're doing it. And they're just a patsy. Just like Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy. He was not the one killing JFK. Guarantee you that. He was a bad shot. He couldn't hit crap out on the shooting fields when he was serving in the army. He was useless. He was even so bad, I don't even think he could be able to commit suicide with a rifle. But, nevertheless, JFK died because he was a threat. Martin Luther King died because he was a threat. Anybody who speaks up is a threat. But they can't do what they did to Kennedy and Martin Luther King or Ronald Reagan. They tried to. They can't kill President Trump. If they do, they know what's coming. There will be at least 100 million Americans who's going to take up arms for real. And they are going to Washington. And they are going to remove every one of you. in D.C. Everyone. And the senators. And the governors in the respective states. You are going to be toast. They will do what needs to be done with you. Because they know who's behind that. You are shadow government. And they're not going to take it. So you can't touch him like that. So you have to constantly hunt him down, do something, do something, do something, trying to prove that President Trump initiated the January 6th protest. He did not. And the truth is coming out about this. That he has nothing to do with it. He actually told the people, go home. It's over. Go home. But they didn't go home because they were angry. Because they knew the truth. And all the video footage is showing now that all these so-called conservative Trump supporters, they were not violent at all. There's even proof that federal agents were in there trying to agitate, dressed up as Trump supporters, in hope of getting the crowd with them. Didn't succeed. A woman was shot dead, murdered, for just being there. She didn't do nothing. She was just gunned down. Poor young woman. All in the name of, New World Order. So everything that is going on is a very, very tight-knit plan of taking this country out of commission permanently and burn you with it. Because you are the carbon they want to reduce, especially in America. It's the fact. So they can come up with all the bans they want to. You just need to understand one thing. They can't do anything. They can write all the freaking stuff they want to. All the executive orders and blah, 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 blah. It is up to every single state whether to assimilate to that or refuse it. Every state is sovereign. That's how it is. So if you're sitting government in your state becoming tyrannical, becoming traitors, you have the right to remove them. Why is that? Because it is your duty as a U.S. citizen to uphold and protect the Constitution and this country against foreign and domestic enemies. It's your duty. It's not something you choose. It is something you have to do. You understand that? You have to. It's not a choice. If you don't want to, pack your bags, give me your address, I will drive you to the border and kick you into that country you wish to enter. Because I don't need you. You're worthless to this country. You don't want to stand up for a country that has given you all the opportunities in life. And don't give me the race card. That's all hogwash too. Keep pounding on that one. Where I am, where I'm about, I don't see any racism anywhere. Nowhere. And I'm getting around. I don't see it. And I have lots of colleagues that is from a different ethnic group. And I'm communicating just peachy with all of them. Not a problem. So this systemic racism, you can pour that out the window too. It's nonsense. Racism has always been around. Always. It's just because people are, I don't know. I think it's a lack of intelligence that causes people to look down upon another group of people. I just think that's the case is being done as a box of rocks or dominant cornflakes. Because we all the same. Every one of us are all the same. We are all that carbon they want to reduce, and they don't care about your race. They're just playing that card. They don't care what skin color you got. They just want you hauled off in the trucks and the trains to the FEMA camp where they can cut your head off. That's all they want. Because you are that carbon they want to reduce. No matter your skin color. They just want to kill you. I said that for 10 years. They want us dead. They want to kill you. Period. That's it. So don't be distracted. It's pretty simple. They want their new world order. And they're willing to do whatever it takes, even bring us into a nuclear conflict with Russia and China. Maybe North Korea. Maybe Iran. To achieve that. So, that tool you have in the Second Amendment, the right to bear, to keep, you just hold on to that. Maybe you should get some more of it. Because why would they want to disarm you when they're looking at a conflict against Russia and China? Primarily Russia. Why would they want to get rid of your guns? Wouldn't they naturally want to have its citizens able to defend the country? No. They want you disarmed and dead. You see? It's pretty simple. It's 2 and 2 is 4. It's logic to cage chicken. What's going on? You can't see it? Well, hopefully someone can explain it better to you than I can. And maybe you will understand it. Or maybe you will understand it when you stand with your back against the wall and have to defend yourself. But you can't. Or maybe you can, because you did listen. You took your cotton wool out of your ears and listened. I don't want you to hear what I have to say. I want you to listen to what I'm saying. There's a big difference. Over and out. God bless you.